It's one of the dates you circle on the calendar. It's the NorCal Derby between the Oakland Roots and Sacramento Republic, presented by Samuel Merritt University. For more than 100 years, Samuel Merritt University has been dedicated to training the next generation of healthcare professionals with programs in nursing, podiatric medicine, and the health sciences. Happy to have you with us this evening on ESPN Plus. Alongside Jade Barquette, I'm Joe Malfa. Quick look at the standings, take a snapshot. They'll change a lot tonight because the West is tight.
Super tight. You're seeing 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and even into 8th place. And below that playoff line as well. Only 2 or 3 points separate each and every team. Every game matters, whether you're going away with 1 point or taking all 3.
And in these moments, you need the stars to step up. Warm-ups and player to watch are brought to you by UCSF Health. Peter Wilson's the main man for Oakland.
He leads the team in goals with 10, shots with 38, and shots on target with 18. He is massive for them to get any sort of production going up top. He will use the entire width of the field to operate centrally, go outside to go inside, really moving the defensive line to give him the best shot on net.
On the other side, in the midfield, it's Mark-Anthony Kaye for Sacramento Republic. They go as he goes.
2 assists, 1 goal for him so far this season. He was awarded Team of the Week honors as well, and he's really coming into his own, said his head coach Neil Collins. He's really found his feet and his fitness throughout this season, and he's working on everything in training, whether it be the smallest details or the biggest concepts. He is always looking to get better for this side.
And these games just mean more between these two teams. The NorCal Derby began in 2021 when the Oakland Roots joined USL Championship. That year they won the season series. They have not done that since then. Last time they met was back in May. It was a 1-0 Sacramento win in this building in the Brinks Tires USL Cup. And look at that. 7 Sacramento wins, just 2 Oakland wins, and 6 draws. So there's been a heavy tilt in Sacramento's favor in the history of this rivalry. It's Oakland, it's Sacramento, it's the NorCal Derby. They don't like each other very much, but we hope you like this game very much. It should be a fun one, and it's coming up next on ESPN Plus.
Here, soccer is a movement, more than just a game, that inspired us to be more than just a name on a jersey, more than a health insurance company, and more involved in helping Oakland grow.
I'ma stay true to my roots.
Because in this town, we play for good.
Let the rest do what it do. There's one thing I'ma do.
USF, but we have more female sports doctors than anywhere else in the country.
Our Women's Sports Medicine Center is the first clinic in the Bay Area to focus on female patients. We would reconstruct the ACL. Our bodies are different. Our injuries are different.
We are constantly staying up to date on the latest science. And we're all athletes ourselves, so we understand what their goals are.
We love to help athletes get back to doing what they love.
UCSF Health.
Tonight's match is presented in part by Anthem Blue Cross. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Samuel Merritt University. An interesting new look for Ryan Martin and the Roots based on what they showed Wednesday in the midweek.
2 changes here for this side. Number 27, Berton Jacqueson, will come in on this right side. And then number 99, Daniel Trejo, will be up top. But look out for Jesus de Vicente. 1 goal, 4 assists in his time there. He'll look to add more to Peter Wilson's 10-goal season.
On the other side for Sacramento, 1 forced change this week. Forster Ajago suspended after a red card last week, so Mael Malongo rotates up top.
He does, and it's not a like-for-like change, but it's going to be one that they're going to need, obviously with the red card not having him out. But on the other side of the pitch, you see Danny Vitiello, a player who's been a part of this club for forever. He's one of their captains on this side. He leads them in minutes played, and just a massive player back there to have them in and out of possession.
It'll be Oakland in their black kits from left to right, Sacramento in their white from right to left. There's your Oak Nest monster, which apparently breathes fire. Did not know that. Learned that now, cooking the Sacramento Bear. So if that's an indication of how tonight is going to go, Roots fans will be happy. Sacramento fans not so much. Fire is a key theme, though, because it does get spicy when these teams meet. They do not like each other very much. The last time they met in Brinks Tires Cup was relatively tame by their standards, but it was on a night where Oakland rotated. They were already just about mathematically eliminated. This is your first true look at the NorCal Derby in 2026. And these teams meet on decision day come October, so a lot will change between now and then. We're waiting for the whistle of Joshua Encarnacion to send us on our way. The Oakland Roots, Sacramento Republic. It's the first regular season NorCal Derby of 2026. Glad to have you with us on ESPN Plus. Alongside Jade Barquette, I'm Joe Malfa. Sacramento coming into this one off a draw that felt equal parts win and loss against Charleston last time out. They had a lead in that game. Then came a penalty conceded 1-1. They went down a man, still found a way to hold on to earn the point. So felt like a loss because they blew the lead. Felt like a win because they salvaged it. Neil Collins said it split the difference. They were happy overall. Oakland, not so much. They're coming off a midweek 2-0 loss on the road against Lexington, hoping to get back on track.
And in that Charleston game for Sacramento, obviously going down a man in any sort of situation and coming away with the point is important by any means. If you can scrap away and leave somewhere knowing you did everything you could with the men you had on the field, that's a plus.
Here's Mael Malongo, first early look for Sacramento upfield. Oakland's had issues defending in transition. Key moments have been their downfall. It was interesting chatting with Ryan Martin this week. By and large, they are happy with where they're at. They're happy with the trajectory of the team, with the performances. It's a moment here, it's a moment there. In that loss against Lexington, Peter Wilson had a chance from the edge of the 6-yard box. Oliver Zemla, the goalkeeper for Lexington, made a terrific save. Otherwise, about 15 minutes in, it's a 1-0 Oakland game, and it's totally different. This one floated in. Pressure from the visitors to start. McCabe gets it clear. Essel. Memo Rodriguez looking through for Blake Willie. Awkward from McCabe, but it gets to below. Wilson wide. De Vicente works it back. It's a possession-based team, sort of. They're up there in the top 3 in the league in possession per game, the Oakland Roots, but you ask Ryan Martin, it's not really by design. They just sort of happen to have the ball. It's not something they're seeking out.
Which is interesting when you hear that from a coach, that they're not necessarily looking to have the ball a lot, but they just tend to have it. They also they lead the USL Championship in passing accuracy with 84%. So not only do they keep the ball, but they keep it well, and they advance it well, but not always in the most dangerous points. It's not like they're scoring tons of goals with the ball. They just have possession. So it's finding the balance of, okay, do we want to keep the ball and not to really do anything with it, or put the ball away with the opportunities we do get when we do have it at our feet?
Here's Danny Trejo. He gets to start tonight. That's one of the new wrinkles for the Oakland Roots. Trejo had largely been coming off the bench, but he gets the opportunity to start tonight. He had good moments in that game against Lexington. Again, Oliver Zemla, the goalkeeper for Lexington, stood on his head. Few massive saves in that game. Jack Kerr gets it back into play. Sun won't be a problem for long for these teams. Shadows making their way across the field. Just that far side still engulfed in the sun. And for another Sacramento throw as they advance up the field. Sacramento could be the second team today to start their game in 11th place and then rise. Earlier, Las Vegas was in 11th. Their win on the road over Detroit City, the first home loss for Detroit City this season. It jumped Vegas up into 6th. It dropped the Roots a spot as well. And it dropped Sacramento down to 11th. But everything, as we showed you a few moments ago, is so tight. A win for either of these teams, and they jump a number of spaces in the standings.
In that Las Vegas game, you only need a goal early on in the game, and if you can defend and hold on, you can get all 3 of those points and come out with a massive win for your side. It doesn't take much on the offensive side, but it takes everything defensively, and that's what you're seeing Sacramento here having to do right now against Oakland, who's had most of the possession early on in this match.
Velo looking back for Trejo at the end line. Trejo runs out of room. He seems like he has an extra jump in his step already tonight, Danny Trejo, a player who's largely disappointed this season. 15 appearances, 1 goal to his name. A far cry from the tally he put up in 2023 when he led Phoenix to his first title. 17 goals that season. Danny Vitiello puts it back into play. No real focal point tonight for Sacramento in the attack without Forster Ajago. Here's Malongo trying to make the most of it. Kyle Edwards also hurt and missing for Sac Republic. So missing those 2 guys, your 2 options in the 9. Have to get creative. That was creative for Mark Anthony Kay, but didn't come off. Gets it back anyway. Timmer, Gurr. Gurr runs out of room. We'll keep you updated on some of the other happenings in the Western Conference as this unfolds, because we mentioned where the Roots are and Sacramento are in the standings coming in. Regardless of this result, that'll probably change because of other happenings. 15 minutes to go. Tulsa and Lexington are 0-0. Starting the second half, Colorado Springs hosting Charleston. They're 0-0. El Paso up 1-0 starting the second half on Sporting Jacks. Monterey Bay and Orange County kicked off the same time as us. They're scoreless, so a lot can and will change. Essel almost jumped by Trejo, well read. But space now for Jared Timmer. Pep Casas, former Inter Miami man, over to Mark Anthony Kay. Rodriguez. Strength of this Sacramento team lies in that midfield. Rodriguez and Kay. Almost 200 appearances in his MLS career, Mark Anthony Kay. Edwards scanning. Preparation-wise, a very slight edge to Oakland in this game. When these teams met in the Brinks Tires Cup, Sacramento went full bore. It was their regular lineup. They played their normal style. They were in it to win it and advance to the quarterfinals in Brinks Tires USL Cup. They fell short. They were upset in their last game by AC Boise and missed out on the quarters. But against Oakland, they went full out. The Roots, though, they were just about mathematically eliminated, so it was heavy rotation, and Sacramento didn't quite get a good look at what the Roots would show. So a slight edge in a game of fine margins that the Roots saw Sacramento's best. Sacramento didn't see the Roots' best when these teams met.
But even saying that, Neil Collins said to us, you know, we felt like we have to play as good as we did on that day in this game, but we have improved as well as the season has gone on. Like you mentioned, Oakland has a ton of threats, and they didn't get to see them on that day during that game, but it doesn't change necessarily how Sacramento is going to come out or going to play today. Obviously, we won't have Forster Ajago up there up top, but they still have the opportunity to create damage and put goals on the score sheet without him.
Goals have been the question, though. Where will they come from, and how will they manufacture them, Sacramento? They have their defensive integrity and identity. That's really what drives them. But the goals, without Ajago, without Edwards, team lead of 3 goals each. As a team, they've scored 16 goals in 14 games coming into the night, but they've only allowed 14 in 14.
It's really going to take them just creating in the midfield and overloading the numbers of Oakland. As this match goes on, you've seen Jack Gurr get into the attack a lot more, trying to overload the midfield with numbers and then push higher up the pitch as well. Oakland has been very sturdy in their backline so far, patient in how they're going to defend the Sacramento side. But can Sac break them down with runs in behind and just overloading numbers?
Rodriguez from a long way out. That's a way to make something happen. He nearly did.
And a shot from nowhere, really. This one just falls to him as numbers were colliding, trying to make sure they were having possession of it. Just gets a little window of a chance in between the center backs and rips the shot. Doesn't even really need a prep touch. It was the touch down from his chest.
Quickly off the goal kick. De Vicente looking ahead. Just too much on it for Jacqueson. The changes made to the lineup for the Roots have maybe been a long time coming. Ryan Martin has tried to make it work with Florian Valleau and Tucker Lepley together as sort of dual 10s. They kept ending up in each other's orbits. This team was lacking just something in behind, and Trejo and Jacqueson both can bring that here tonight. We'll see if it does lead to the Roots going more direct than they have in recent games. Pulling back the curtain, Ryan Martin had mentioned that he preferred to start with Valleau and Lepley because he'd prefer to bring on Trejo and Jacqueson as speed off the bench to bring that dynamism into a game. Only problem is you don't necessarily know what kind of game you're bringing them into. He had them both up and ready in that game against Lexington. At the next stoppage, they were going to come in down 1-0. That's when the goal was scored. So now you're bringing them in. It's sort of a moot point. You're down 2-0, and you have a hill to climb. So he starts with them tonight. Malongo. Dropping one in. Uncontested header from Willie. Hessel. Malongo. Long spell of control here for Sacramento. Some space for Memo Rodriguez. One of the unsung heroes in this midfield for Sacramento Republic. I mentioned Mark Anthony Kaye with nearly 200 MLS appearances. Same goes for Rodriguez. Those two control things. Almost every game Sacramento goes into, they know they're going to have an experience and composure advantage in the midfield. Tonight's no exception. Not a bad team they're going up against with Tommy McCabe and Bobosi Biarahanga, but still edge to Sacramento, at least on paper.
Especially when you're in a rivalry game like this, having that emotional composure in the central part of the field or the emotional drive to push a few buttons when you need to as well is so important. But Memo Rodriguez, you've already seen it in this game, up and down, a box-to-box type of player, but really he's gone side to side as well. trying to help his team and facilitate possession wherever he's needed.
Given away by De Vicente. What can Gurr turn this into? McCabe steers it out for a corner. First corner of the night for the visitors. In-swinger dropped in toward Timmer. McIntosh gains position and has it. Wants to go quickly. It's a 2v2 out there. Jacquesin and Trejo. Velo. Again, it's Velo. Tucks it into McCabe. Well read and one. Guess who? And that one might be yellow coming back as Velo got a fistful of Malongo's jersey. The referee, Joshua Encarnacion, lets it play out for now. And he called over Florian Velo. Is it a stern talking to or is it a card?
This all started, though, from the organization of the defensive structure for Sacramento. They're just baiting Oakland to play into the central part of the pitch where their players are already there waiting for them and anticipating that pass in where they can pick it off and go straight to goal or just play forward as quickly as possible.
Florian Velo did pick up the yellow there. Long throw. Tingy flicks it away. Curled in again for Sacramento. Starting to get those services in. Another corner coming. Another chance from the corner for Tyler Wolff. He's the one who gets inserted into the starting 11 in the absence of Forster Ajago. Gets it back off the short routine, looking back post, a lot of contact there. I don't know that it's enough for a penalty, but it's something to keep an eye on. Tingy battling. Root supporters certainly didn't think so. Blasted by Neville Hackshaw. Does feel like there's more of an initiative to go direct for the Roots in this one than we've seen in games past. Here comes the press. Vitiello just gets it out to safety. Ryan Martin said one of the best attributes of this Roots team is their ability to press and win it high up the field and turn that into moments. But teams have been going direct against the Roots, so they haven't been able to do that. This is their first moment where the pressure nearly amounted to something. Wilson thought he won a free kick, but Joshua Encarnacion says play on.
Ryan Martin said that their press is their greatest attribute. That is what makes them a good team defensively. But if people are going to start reading that and going long, well, we have to adjust behind the ball. Now, what does that look like? It's winning those second balls. It's securing possession, then going forward if they are going to play long. Planning those 1 and 2 steps ahead like you would in a normal press where each one has that seesaw motion of going towards the ball and then backing and dropping in. You're just doing that in a different phase of the field now.
Lowe picks up the loose ball. Casas wins it back. Rodriguez for Kay. Wolff making the run. Gurr curling it centrally instead. Memo Rodriguez striking first for Sacramento.
And what a goal this was. It was from the patience of the build-up. One pass breaks 2 lines. Gerb with a fantastic early service ball in towards the back line. Everyone's racing back towards the goal. Memo Rodriguez, right in his stride, tucks this one away in between the back line of Oakland. And we talked about him earlier, just the experience that he has and what he brings to this team. And who is going to step up? He does.
It's only his second of the season for Sacramento. It's not necessarily his calling card. You alluded to it earlier, just the way he sees the game, the spaces he finds. A sneaky run out of the midfield, nobody tracked him, he made them pay. Now for a team that has only allowed 1 goal per game in Sacramento this season, you've got your one. If you pitch a clean sheet, you've got another win in the NorCal Derby. 4 clean sheets this season for Danny Vitiello. You can watch the USL on ESPN2 August 1st, next Saturday. The championship battle of powerhouse teams, one of the best rivalries in the league. Tampa Bay, Louisville. That's 8 Eastern on ESPN2 next Saturday. This rivalry was born out of geography and then grew because of competition. That one solely competition-based. Below going for goal! Flo Below with the moment for the Roots, leveling!
And what a strike, what a response. This ball bouncing around. Why not go straight to goal? Picks it up off the transition. One pass, turn, prep touch, shoot, and an absolute brilliant finish and a response going down 1-0 at home in a rivalry game. How do you get the fans? How do you get your team? How do you stay in it? You score directly after getting scored on. Valo with the equalizer.
His second of the season. Coaches always talk about the first 5 after a goal. Whether you score it or you concede. Those next 5 minutes crucial. Didn't need even that much time. About a minute and a half after the Memo Rodriguez goal. Florian Valo equalizing. Peter Wilson leads this team with 10 goals. Wolfgang Prentice is second with 5. It's a whole bunch of guys who were on 1 goal this season. And Ryan Martin said, if we're going to get where we want to go, Danny Trejo needs about 7 goals. Florian Valo needs about 5 to 7 goals. You need those other guys who are capable of it to start stepping up. Here's Valo. Quick touches. Jacquesin. Bertrand Jacquesin rockets one. Pulled it wide. Took a deflection, though. And out for a corner. It'll be the first corner of the evening for the Roots, brought to you by Ava Community Energy.
And they have grown into this match. 1- and 2-touch passes. There was a lot of traffic in front of them, but took the shot and gets the deflection regardless.
How quickly momentum can shift. Memo Rodriguez scoring, silencing this crowd. Not even a minute and a half later. Florian Valo ties it, and now it's Oakland on the front foot. An Ava Community Energy corner kick. This is what you get in this rivalry. The games never disappoint. Valo swings it in. Kay dispatches. Valo, Trejo on the turn, blocked. Might have taken that concession to jolt awake for the Roots. They look a completely different side over the last 4 minutes. McCabe. Keegan Tingey, who got credit for the assist on the Velo goal. Jacqueson. This is the town season of the 2026 Oakland Roots and Soul jerseys are here. Same heart, same city. One built from myth, one built from within. Two clubs, one Oakland. Get yours now at shop.oaklandrootssc.com or at any Roots or Soul home game. Halfway through this first half, a goal each. The NorCal Derby, first regular season one of the year. Alongside Jade Barquette, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us on ESPN+. These teams won't meet again until decision day. That is not something that's ever happened before. These two teams meeting on the last day of the season. I cannot wait until 3 months from now when we get that meeting. Just because with how tight the West is, if that game has any relevance for a playoff spot, oh my God, it's going to be a bloodbath. And we've still got plenty to go here tonight. Jacqueson eyeing up a go at goal. It's blocked. Had other options. Eddie Trejo looks frustrated. And a yellow shown. I believe that was to Essel for a foul earlier in the build-up.
And it's going to come off this distribution. Goes head-to-head there as that ball was coming out. And you see that last shot from Jacqueson. He has a ton of other options right in front of him, or he's drawing a lot of attention to his ball too. Dump it out to the top of the 18. Attract more than slip a player in. You have so many players that are around you.
Here's Velo in behind. Wilson darting through. Not Velo's finest moment. And a Golden Boot candidate and the reigning Golden Boot winner streaking and open. 10 this season for Peter Wilson. He's still one off the Golden Boot pace. Set by Corey Bennett and Darren Smith right now of Colorado Springs and Detroit City respectively. Colorado Springs has a 1-0 lead now on Charleston. Cross-conference matchup. Silky turn that is in the midfield to break lines and go now for Sacramento, but given away. Tulsa and Lexington finished 0-0. That switchbacks result, if it holds over Charleston's, a big one. On a day of multiple cross-conference matchups, you had earlier Vegas beating Detroit City, points stay in the West. San Antonio beat Brooklyn, points stay in the West. Colorado Springs is beating Charleston, points stay in the West. El Paso's beating Sporting Jacks, points go to the West. You're seeing a theme here. It's easy to understand why the West is so bunched up. The West is where the power lies this year. Trejo wins a corner, no. Encarnacion says it's last off of Trejo, and not much of a protest either.
Trejo fired up still. You saw him clap his hands and get right back to his defensive structure, ready to go. I think he's inviting that dynamic, inviting the 1v1 challenges he wants to run. You said it earlier, he has an extra edge to him today. Knowing he is getting the opportunity here and wants to add to the score sheet, he wants to add to this rivalry. And Sacramento is going a bit more direct to deal with the press of the Roots. Now it's what can they do with the ball as soon as they win it.
They're going short on each of these goal kicks, just from Villiello to his center back, but then immediately seeing things breaking down, just shooting it down long. It goes back to what you were saying earlier, Jane, about this Oakland team superpower being its press, but teams haven't been allowing them to utilize it because they've been going so direct. Tonight they've been able to showcase it a bit, and it's working fine. Tingey. Garahunga cut down. Throw for Sacramento. You can watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2TN, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Wolf switches. Willie lays it off. Casas pulls it back for Essel. 4 shots apiece, 1 goal apiece. Well read off the back line by De Vicente. Now below. Threads it through for Wilson. Played off to Trejo. Wilson finds it again. Directing, asking for support, demanding it now. Very animated and frustrating as he just sends it wide. Worked out though. Tingy flicks it on. Jacquesin. Well defended by Kay. Tingy got to the loose ball first again. Feels like the Roots are turning 50-50 balls into 70-30 balls right now. They are getting to everything.
What I'm seeing differently right now in the way these teams are building out is Oakland, they're being very patient, very slow. They're wanting, you saw McIntosh, he's demanding his players to move instead of with Sacramento. They are knowing where their teammates are going to be. That's very quickly. It's one side of the field, back to center back, or skip a center back to an outside back, and then over. It's a lot quicker.
Garahanga for Jacquesin. Bertan Jacquesin backside. Knotted through by De Vicente. Didn't have much control as he rose up for it. There's that press again from Trejo. Back to Vidiello, who clears. Really struggling to handle this Roots press right now. Our Sacramento Republic.
And if you are going to invite the press and you are going to build out, which we saw one time earlier with the cheeky move from Sacramento to turn straight from the middle, you have to take a little bit of a risk. You have to try and be confident in where you're passing the ball, the correct foot you're passing the ball to set your teammate up for success. If not, they're just going to be kicking the ball long all game.
Garahanga takes charge, drives one wide. There's a miscommunication initially between Jacquesin and Garahanga. The latter took charge and nearly turned it into the spectacular.
Well, no one's immediately stepping to the ball here. If time and space, again, why not take the shot? Essel is standing there, but not putting immediate pressure on the ball. And this Oakland Roots side, they've shown in this game that they're not afraid to take shots from outside the box.
That's why the early yellow card is important, too, from Essel, because maybe he's having second thoughts in that moment of jumping in and putting that pressure on. Casas. Essel. El Malongo. There's Ryan Martin remaining steadfast in his belief in this team and how to approach things, not shifting the style, not trying to stray from who they are. Talked about something he picked up from Greg Popovich as far as just hitting the rock over and over. Eventually it's going to break. They've been arguably the better side in a lot of their recent games that have not amounted to wins. It's tough sometimes to stay true to yourself in those moments. Their win back on June 20th against Phoenix. That's the last time they won. Granted, there's been a couple of breaks in there, a USL Cup weekend fixture in there. But even before that win against Phoenix on June 20th, have to go all the way back to May 9th for their previous win against a El Paso team that only had 10 men for the vast majority of that game. So the performances have not yielded results in the way they were early this season. But looking better tonight with 10 to go in this first half in a 1-1 game. Now Sacramento threatening, feeding it through. Hackshaw puts a foot on it, out for a corner.
Since Oakland scored the tying goal, there really hasn't been any sort of shots on goal for Sacramento. Wolf getting in the box there, trying to create something that a set piece will do as well at this point.
Corner dropped in, Edwards, heads clear. Wilson battling Rodriguez. Here's McCabe. Not on the same page as Trejo, who came short to receive, ball went in behind instead. Essel wide of Gurr. They haven't had much of the ball. When they've gotten forward, they haven't been crisp because of the Roots press. Sacramento team does not look like themselves right now, and Neil Collins is always wearing his emotions on the sleeve, more so right now. And it's been a frustrating stretch of 10 to 15 minutes.
And you can see it in the way that they're playing. Oakland is very much, and I don't want to say Sacramento's playing with fear, because you obviously can't tell that, but Oakland, it just seems like they're playing a little bit more free. Sacramento is a little bit more rigid in their movements and their pressure.
Malongo brings it down. Tingy pressuring. Malongo did just keep it in play. Okay. Willie Gurr. Okay, was checking again. Gurr now gets it through. Okay, for Rodriguez, flashed across, not clean. That's been the theme in this first half for Republic. Rodriguez, though, wins it back. Below, looking to send Wilson on a run. Wilson pressuring, almost got there. Desmond's very upset. Below on the volley with the confidence of his earlier goal. I think that Desmond's annoyed at Essel for the lack of communication there. He was looking over his right shoulder to see if the runner was there and never saw Wilson because he was on the left shoulder, and came out of nowhere in the end there, where Essel had a full view of it the whole time.
And still shaking his head is Desmond, but rightfully so. You have to communicate to your back line, especially with Peter Wilson running at your back line, ball in the air, 50-50. You have to have crisp communication, 2v1 in that situation.
Essel Dangerous one back. Vitiello pounces off his line, but gives it away. Velo chests it down for Trejo. It turns. Trejo! Last-ditch defending from Lee Desmond out for a corner. Looks like a completely different player tonight, Danny Trejo.
He has been on fire, and he's hungry for that goal. And again, it all comes off the press. Props to him for getting back onside after he was pressing the pass backwards. He's taken a few shots in this match. None have been truly on target.
From the corner, clear. McCabe, secondary ball. Peter Wilson couldn't quite rise to meet it. Might have been undercut. Play on though. Another ball in. Hackshaw nods it down. Finally cleared. Time to go in this first half. It's a half the Roots probably don't want to end, and Republic are hoping gets to the finish line a bit quicker. Charleston just tied it up at 1 against Colorado Springs in the 81st minute. Elsewhere right now in the Western Conference. Join the Oakland Roots at the Oakland Coliseum on August 1st for Super Hi-Fi Night as the Roots take on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Don't miss a special halftime performance. Bay Area legend Keith DeSneak. Single game tickets still available. Visit oaklandrootssc.com/tickets. Call 510-488-1144 to secure your seats today. Jacqueline. High bar from Joshua Encarnacion, letting them play tonight. You like that in a rivalry game, otherwise you'll be calling a lot if you try to rein it in, but at some point he'll have to do so. Good challenge from Edwards to win it. McCabe. All the way back for Danny Vitiello. I wonder what the answer might be for Sacramento. They went from looking so good, up a goal, courtesy of Mauro Rodriguez, but it has turned to something very different. Complete control by the Roots after that Velo goal, which came about 90 seconds after Rodriguez scored. Gurr. Threaded through. It's Gurr again. Cheeky flag stays down. Cut back. Kay overran it. Jacqueline. Essel's already on a yellow. Had that contact initiated there.
And what an unlucky cross. Everybody just overran that ball there. You talk about what Sacramento can change. I really just think it's having the ball for longer periods of time. You've seen it, the game open up a little bit as they've maintained possession here in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Mael Malongo floats one. Hackshaw clears. Malongo. Rodriguez through to the end line. It's Casas! Whether it was McCabe or McIntosh, not sure who got the last touch on it. Either way, out for a corner and saved a goal.
And again, Sacramento is just continuing to wear down this Oakland Roots defensive structure. It's 1 and 2 touch passes, and really, they should not have allowed Casas to get that close to their own goal. Dribbling right inside, basically into the 6-yard box, but they'll settle for a corner to try to capitalize here at the end of this half.
From the corner. 2 minutes of stoppage in this first half. Willie. They whistle for a foul in Oakland's favor.
Maybe a little bit of a breath for them as well. They've been having to defend for a little bit of time now. They haven't had the ball. They haven't had the momentum on their side. They've done well with defending Sacramento and the options and the opportunities that they have had. Would like to end this half on a high note.
McIntosh is in no hurry to get this last minute of the half going. Sends it long again. Yarahunga. Jacquesin. Is there one last chance in the half? Berton Jacquesin floating it. Gurr flicks it away. Recovered by De Vicente. I don't remember the last time a loose ball was picked up by Sacramento in this first half. It is all Oakland right now.
It's key for them, for Oakland, to pick up those second balls right at the top of the box. They're going to shoot regardless of who's in front of them or where the ball is coming from. And I like it. I like that they're taking the confident shots. I like that they're, whether they can get a deflection or the ball goes in because of it's a beauty of a shot like their goal was, why not take it? Sacramento is very lax when it comes to those balls bouncing in front of their 18.
Joshua Encarnacion got a bit impatient with Danny Vitiello not taking the goal kick. Decided to blow the half dead anyway. It's the first half of the first regular season NorCal derby of the season, and it did not disappoint. 1-1 at the break between Oakland and Sacramento.
It's been a good game so far between these two. It's going to be a little bit of who's going to break through in this next 45. Oakland Roots having the momentum after getting scored on and then returning the favor with a goal of their own. Can they do it in front of their home crowd tonight?
Plenty of visiting fans as well from the Tower Bridge Battalion of Sacramento Republic. They were celebrating first, but they were only celebrating for about 90 seconds. After Memo Rodriguez, it was Florian Velo. It's 1-1 at the break between Oakland and Sacramento. Plenty more to come in the NorCal Derby from the Oakland Coliseum.
So hold it up high. You might not be related, but you're still family. You don't just give an extra hand. You give your whole heart and a whole lot of muscle. Because it feels good to raise up the community that raised you. You are a fighter, this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Sana, sana. Sana, sana, colita de rana.
Sana, sana, colita de rana. Si no sanas hoy,
Sanará mañana.
Learn about low to no-cost health insurance with Anthem Blue Cross, so you and your family can sana sana.
A lot of people don't know this about UCSF, but we have more female sports doctors than anywhere else in the country.
Our Women's Sports Medicine Center is the first clinic in the Bay Area to focus on female patients. We would reconstruct the ACL. Our bodies are different. Our injuries are different.
We are constantly staying up to date on the latest science. And we're all athletes ourselves, so we understand what their goals are.
We love to help athletes get back to doing what they love.
UCSF Health.
1-1 the score between the Oakland Roots and Sacramento Republic here through 45 minutes. There's a lot going on right now around USL Championship, and so much of it is being built from the ground up, literally.
They are more than shiny and new. The latest collection of brand new stadiums in USL are a commitment to communities. Fans in Boise have set attendance records. Finishing touches greet the fans in Fort Wayne weekly. In Greenville, Triumph fans are in love with their permanent new home. These projects take time and patience, but nothing gets a community excited like seeing a shovel in the ground. Detroit City of the USL Championship has gone from dreams to renderings to construction. At its recent groundbreaking in Southwest Detroit, Alumni Phi Stadium became a vision for the very near future.
We've been incredibly fortunate to create something that's way bigger than us, and that we have the great fortune of being stewards of it. And the stadium represents really an investment in that community, an investment in this neighborhood, a tremendous investment in the city, and something that will be around for generations to come.
With this stadium, the club is investing in its future and demonstrating a long-term commitment to building a sustainable, community-driven club. I'm excited for what the future holds for Detroit City. I can't wait to be back here for the opening match in 2028. And I want to say congratulations to the fans, supporters, ownership group, and the entire community that made this amazing new home possible.
At 15,000 seats, Alumni Phi raises the bar for Detroit City. Soon there will be more groundbreakings and sounds of stadium construction as USL gets closer to the launch of Premier.
And Wilson scores! Finally a breakthrough for Louisville City!
You ever just look at them and think, yeah, I'm doing all right.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
Hay mucha fiesta, señor Martino. Hay sed de revancha, doctor. Pero falta gol. Estamos a esperar a Hugo. ¿Hugo Sánchez?
Sí, tira para adelante.
¿Quién maneja? ¿Un futbolista? Llegamos por ti. Ay, bendito sea el chapar, doctor. Hugo, ¿regreso a las canchas? ¿Algún consejo?
Sí, confía y cree en ti.
¡Ey! ¡Vas al norte!
A donde me dé la oportunidad, pero listo para dar el paso.
¡Listo, vamos!
Prinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines. From early mornings to late nights. From fun with friends to winner takes all. From the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prince Tires will be there for the long haul.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. You put on the biggest event of the year every single weekend, surviving the strongest storms, meeting chaos with composure. You roll up your sleeves to roll out the red carpet, because the end of the night for you is the beginning of the rest of their lives. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Halftime K-pop celebration here at the Coliseum this evening. Jade was going along with it before. She got the choreo down and everything. 1-1 between Oakland and Sacramento. Plenty other games to talk about in the USL Championship this evening. It was Tampa Bay 3-2 over Miami. That turned some heads, but Rhode Island a big win against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
It was a massive one for Rhode Island at Pittsburgh for them to get that 1-0 win away from home and a rematch from Eastern Conference Finals last year. We talked about the Las Vegas win over Detroit as well. A ton of matchups going different ways than maybe expected for some people.
Yeah, and 1-0, clearly the theme of the day, and all road teams 1-0 over the home teams. That's what Sacramento had here briefly, but then Oakland leveled very, very quickly. Later games, West Coast games, El Paso took care of business, 2-0 over Sporting Jacks. Seconds ago, the Switchbacks retook the lead over the Charleston Battery. They just continue to do it in dramatic fashion, game in, game out, the Switchbacks. And the Oakland Roots here and Sacramento Republic are looking to keep pace. As on a day where we had a handful of cross-conference matchups, every single result has gone the way to the tune of 3 points to the Western Conference team. So you have to win to keep pace right now in the Western Conference. And to get you a look at some more of what's going on around the USL Championship, here is Dan Lucas with your halftime update.
It is halftime in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying the match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at the headlines. It was an amazing accomplishment and USL history. Trevor Ammon's hat trick blew open Pittsburgh Riverhounds game against Louisville City. Ammon scored 3 goals in 3 minutes and 27 seconds, the fastest hat trick in league history. The Riverhounds collected a 3-1 victory on national TV. Construction is underway on Detroit City's new home. The groundbreaking for Alumni Phi Stadium took place last Wednesday with club partners, business leadership, as well as the mayor of Detroit on hand. The 15,000-seat stadium's planned opening is in 2028. The CONCACAF Under-20 Championship now underway in Mexico. 3 players from USL clubs are with the U.S. Under-20 team. Colton Swan of Charleston Battery and Brandon Days of Louisville City represent the championship. Braden Dunham represents Swarm FC of USL League Two. National Spotlight games in Championship and League One. Next Saturday, Tampa Bay hosting Louisville on ESPN2. August 5th, Richmond Kickers hosting the New York Cosmos on CBS SN. And then on the 8th, Monterey Bay hosts New Mexico United on CBS SN. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
A lot of people don't know this about UCSF, but we have more female sports doctors than anywhere else in the country.
Our Women's Sports Medicine Center is the first clinic in the Bay Area to focus on female patients. We would reconstruct the ACL. Our bodies are different. Our injuries are different.
We are constantly staying up to date on the latest science. And we're all athletes ourselves, so we understand what their goals are.
We love to help athletes get back to doing what they love.
UCSF Health.
Our need to connect is at the heart of being human. The places and people who make us feel valued, body, mind, and spirit. At Anthem Blue Cross, we know life touches each of us differently, with things we expect and things we don't. We're showing up in ways not expected, helping all of us feel connected to a community of care.
So hold it up high. It doesn't just have great bones. It was the backbone of your community. So you breathe in new life, grinding away to make space for tomorrow, for your people. This isn't just a restoration. It's a revival. Because you're always willing to double down on your neighborhood. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Tonight's match is presented in part by Anthem Blue Cross. Look at highlights from an entertaining first half here in the NorCal Derby.
It was a very entertaining start to this match. Saw a few fouls here, but this ball from Jack Kerr, just beautiful on a line to Rodriguez, who was streaking in between the back line. You couldn't have asked for a better timed ball, a better timed run, and a better finish for Sacramento to start off this match.
Did not last, though, that lead. Officially 2 minutes in the books later. Rodriguez in the 19th minute, Velo in the 21st minute, but it was less than that.
And it was off a transition moment where Velo just takes 2 touches and puts it in the back of the net. It was off this giveaway. His teammate picks the ball up, chests it down, plays it 1 pass forward, and that would make it level. Oakland had a ton of more opportunities in the latter part of the first half, but could not capitalize on those.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up. Oakland dominated the rest of that half after the 1-1. Possession is what sticks out right now. Oakland coming into the day top 3 in the league in possession per game. Sacramento, not necessarily a team who's going to dominate that category. They're leading the battle right now. The Roots are sort of saying, here, you take it, we'll press you, and it's working out.
It truly is, and they're winning the ball off the transition because Sacramento cannot figure out how to break down their press. They're just booting the ball long, and it's allowing the Roots to pick the ball up and go straight to goal. That's where you're seeing those 9 shots from. Yes, not on target, but they're staying in this match because of their defensive structure. Sacramento has the ball, but aren't doing a ton with it.
Keeping so much pressure right now, the Roots on Sacramento.
I believe 15 was
A big second half on the way in the Western Conference. Every point matters. Things are so tight in the standings. We already saw one team today in Las Vegas win and go from 11th up into 6th. We've seen so much up and down throughout the day. 4 cross-conference matchups. The Western Conference team won them all. This is the battle right now at the playoff line. Oakland sitting in 7th on 22 points. Sacramento just below that line on 21 points. But look at it, that's just what we can show you based on the size of our graphic. From 7th down to 11th, separated by 1 point. You could zoom out even further, and above 7th place right now, you go all the way up to 4th place on 24 points. So from 4th to 11th, separated by just 1 game's worth of points, 3 points. That is insane right now in the Western Conference.
It is so extremely tight. Every single one of these games matter tremendously as we go into this back half of the season. It kind of allows you to reset and restart if you're thinking about it that way, knowing that you're playing like a mini playoff season in the middle of your season because of how tight it can be.
One change on the Sacramento side at the break. Aaron Essel and his yellow card taken off. We'll see what that might do. Chibu Kebu steps in his spot. Chibu Kebu, one of the best young defenders in USL Championship. More of a center back by trade, but has been able to play just about anywhere on that back line when called upon. So we'll see exactly how Sacramento lines up. They go left to right in the white, Oakland right to left in the black. Joshua Encarnacion in the yellow, trying to figure out something with the 4th official, but we're not sure what. Memo Rodriguez having a good laugh about it too. He's ready to go. Oakland's ready to go. I think Joshua Encarnacion also finally ready to go. And finally underway in the second half of the NorCal Derby. Oakland 1, Sacramento 1. Buckle up. Started to get chippy toward the end of that first half as well. Alongside Jade Barquette, I'm Joe Malva. Happy to have you with us on ESPN+. Worked in behind Malongo. Rodriguez picks it up. Willie. The confusion from the sideline to begin this half. A second sub was shown by the fourth official, but no other sub was actually ready. So Ryan Martin was sort of confused and wanted a quick explanation as to who exactly was in case he had to figure out any tactical switches for his own side based on the subs. But it was just an innocent, simple mistake. Just the one sub of Ukebu for Essel on the Sacramento side. Corner for Republic. Rodriguez near posts. He was there for Lee Desmond, just never got a piece of it. Seemed like he almost ducked out of the ball path. Misread on it. Ryan Martin's tactical switches tonight working so far. The personnel shift, the tactical shift to allow Sacramento to have more of the ball and Oakland just press. That worked at the end of the first half, but what will Neil Collins' counter be? Will Ryan Martin have a counter to the counter? Two of the best coaches in this league. It's going to be a chess match on the sidelines as well.
I really think it's going to be about, is that sustainable for Oakland's legs? Is it sustainable for Sacramento to have a ton of the ball? Because right now, Oakland's doing a fantastic job of defending them, not really giving them a lot of opportunities.
Gurr misfires. McIntosh, it's been quiet for him so far tonight. Officially does have 2 saves, but really nothing of substance or of too much trouble. Does look like they've shifted things on that back line, Sacramento. Chibi Ukebu is slotted in as a center back in his natural spot. Jack Gurr still on the right side and has forced Jared Timmer out wide on the left. Yarahanga looking long. Pardon me, Desmond is shifted out wide on the left. Timmer stays central with Ukebu. Edwards. These are the moments where Oakland can remind you that they are largely a team who possess the ball. Although tonight they've, again, sort of said, here, you take it, we'll press you, and it'll work out. Rodriguez. Malongo. Caught up between the feet of Edwards. Rodriguez, so deft little ball in, but It skims off the right foot of Tyler Wolf.
And that's really great work by Edwards to stop any sort of forward momentum for Sacramento. He just shifts out wide from his center back position to cover and stop any sort of attack more from Sacramento, and it disrupts the rest of the process. Now it's about, can Oakland get back in transition and defend lower in their system? They do a very good job of pressing extremely organized higher up the pitch. Now when Sacramento is in their own defensive half for an extended period of time, can they stay organized? Can they continue to not allow them to break through their lines so that they can go straight to the opposite end when they do win the ball back?
Kay gets his body between the ball, and Biarahanga almost baited him into a foul. Gurr. Pressure again from Wilson, almost swiped it from Pep Casas. Gurr in behind McIntosh, read it well the whole way. And Wilson knew it right away.
Both Wilson and Desmond just going back to goal. There's a little shove in the back by Wilson. He claims he didn't touch him, but Desmond will definitely take the foul there.
Kay looking long. Malongo in behind. McIntosh again reads it well, settles it, slips, but does enough to get it away initially and makes the save. Still with Sacramento, Wolf. Heads up play by McIntosh after he slipped to get back inside the box so he can use his hands and stop anything that came his way. Terrific goalkeeper in terms of his instincts, his reflexes. Not necessarily a ball-playing keeper, and it showed there, but he made amends.
The reflexes definitely came out in that save.
Almost more self-preservation than anything else from that close range to the shot fired at that pace. That was just saving his orbital bone, basically.
And he'll be thankful regardless.
So too will Ryan Martin, who went to Kendall McIntosh because of a number of mistakes and gifting goals from Rafael Spiegel playing out of the back. Gurr. Now, Spiegel's mistakes were just poor decision making. McIntosh would have had the excuse or the out in that moment of slipping and that being somewhat out of his control, but no matter, made amends still. Timmer back and forth with Kay. Timmer's been an anchor on this back line since 2023 for Sacramento. Such a strong spine in this group. Wolf, Willie. Vidiello at the back, Timmer and Desmond in the middle. And then Kay and Rodriguez in the heart of the midfield with almost 400 combined MLS appearances. It is maybe the best foundation of a team in USL Championship. Problem has been what's in front of that. And only 16 goals in 14 games coming into the night. Rodriguez, no trouble for McIntosh, and Rodriguez is offside anyway. Collins pacing. It's a better start to this second half than the way they ended the first half. Sacramento. But it wasn't really until the midway point of that first half that the Roots kicked it into a higher gear. So you wonder if they're about to hit that same stride they did in the first half.
And Sacramento has been controlling this entire second half. Possession-wise, opportunities-wise, they really haven't played much in their own defensive half at all.
Kebu commits the foul.
Can they capitalize on the opportunities that they have? The back line of Oakland has been proven hard to break down in this match so far. They're not going to want to give anything away easily, obviously, but Sacramento is going to have to get creative in how they're attacking this back line.
Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. None of the players knew what to do with that Select ball for a moment. They were all looking around for what the call was. It was a throw. It was much ado about nothing, and now it's out for a Vidiello goal kick. Looking in behind for Malongo, who was offside. It's a few times already in the second half that Sacramento have not timed their runs or their balls properly.
But they broke the press from Oakland, and that's an important piece to hit on as well. With 3 or 4 passes, they were in the attacking half, and it's because the little up back through balls, the 1- and 2-touch passes where they're expecting it to come to the next player ready to play forward and not waiting for Oakland or deciding when they're going to play the ball as Oakland moves.
De Vicente for Trejo. Tried to lay it off for below. De Vicente, a lot of jersey in his left hand, call for the foul.
I don't know about you, but I can kind of appreciate a ref that lets them play until...
Yeah, and especially in a rivalry game.
Right.
You know that at some point, yes, you're going to have to tighten it up. But the longer you can go without having to do that, probably the better.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Just a reminder of the history here, too, between these two teams. Quickly became one of the best rivalries in the USL Championship in 2021 when the Roots joined the league. Gurr into space. Come back to that in a moment. Gurr sending one in. McIntosh has it. That first season, the first 3 games they played, all ties. Came down to the 4th game, and at that time, a different setup for the regular season. The teams were in pods. It was still the first year out of COVID, so you had 4 games against all the teams in your group, so 4 regular season meetings instead of the current 2 that we have. The 4th game was a decisive one. The Roots won that game on an Emra Clemente goal. Formerly played for Sacramento, then came over to the Roots, so it was very emotionally charged. First 3 games all ties, and the Roots win the first ever NorCal Derby season. The season series went the Roots' way on that 4th game. Since then, all Sacramento. Since then, 7 Sacramento wins, 1 Roots win, 3 draws. The Roots' last win in this rivalry came back in June of 2024. Wolfgang Prentice now getting set to check in for the Roots. I think maybe it's for Bertrand Jacquesin the way this game has gone. Let's see what Ryan Martin has up his sleeve. Free kick goes the Roots' way. Wolf the foul. And it will be Bertrand Jacquesin who gives way for Wolfgang Prentice.
Oakland Roots substitution in the 59th minute. Coming onto the field for the Roots. Number 7, Wolfgang.
Second on the team in goals with 5. Team leader with 6 assists. 4 of his 5 goals came in the first 6 games this season. Only 1 in the last 10. Ryan Martin talked about Wolfgang Prentice getting back to that early season form. He's still been creative. All the assists have come in recent weeks, but the goals have dried up after that quick start.
Yeah, he specifically said we need to see more of him production-wise with goals. Only having 5. it's not enough for Ryan Martin and for him to step on the pitch in this type of scenario in a game where they need 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 to continue to put pressure on Sacramento and see out this game. It's a perfect opportunity to prove himself as well.
Looking for another Willie run out of the midfield. They scored their goal on a Rodriguez run out of the midfield. They're doing it with smoke and mirrors right now, Sacramento in the attack. Again, no Kyle Edwards, no Forster Ajago. Ajago is suspended, Edwards hurt. Your 2 leaders, your 2 terrific number 9s, both missing tonight for different reasons. Wolfgang Prentice now into this game. What can he do? Can he provide service to Peter Wilson? He's a striker who needs service, Wilson. We haven't really called his name tonight. Prentice, the co-leader in USL Championship with 6 assists. Can he find his partner in crime up top? Wolf. Pardon me, Casas. Now Kerr. Hour into this one, half hour remains. Oakland at Sacramento 1-1. Glad to have you with us on ESPN Plus. Shane Barquette, I'm Joe Malfa. Goals came about 90 seconds apart in that first half. No, Rodriguez did it for Sacramento. Florian Velo responded with a brilliant one for the Oakland Roots. We've been this way ever since.
And you're right, Joe. We have not called Peter Wilson's name pretty much at all here in this match. For Oakland, Trejo, Vicente, they have had fantastic games. Even with Peter on the pitch, we haven't been able to really see him get the ball at all.
Wolf came off of Hackshaw, still on here for Sacramento. Willie puts a foot in. Oakland plays out of it. Roots fans, not too late to celebrate the history of the Coliseum in person at Oakland Roots. Sign up now for our Coliseum Countdown Pack and get all the perks of membership for the rest of the year. Visit oaklandrootssc.com/tickets or call 510-488-1144. Space for De Vicente. Prentice making a lung-busting run through the middle. Trejo takes it wide. Forcing anything right now. Waiting for the right moment to be incisive, Oakland. McCabe, Yarahunga.
They haven't had really sustained possession at all here in the second half. I like that they're taking their time, trying to spread Sacramento out and pick the right opportunity to go to goal instead of just going immediately. But that's what they have to be aware of. You cannot give the ball straight away without having an opportunity on goal.
Velo does well to track back and play it out for a throw. Both goals they conceded last game in the loss 2-0 against Lexington came from those moments, came from giveaways that quickly turned into transitions.
Head coach Ryan Martin says, we call that donating goals to the opposition. Just handing them right over. We cannot do that if we want to be successful and make a run at anything in this league.
The donation bin has been full from the Roots this season, too. Both of their defeats against Orange County, giveaways by the goalkeeper. Even in Pringstire's USL Cup, a giveaway from the goalkeeper. Moments given away the other day. Florian Velo, Tucker Lepley, the 2 giveaways that led to the Lexington goals. It's stating the obvious, but if they don't beat themselves, they're a team that's probably in the top 2 or 3 right now in the Western Conference, and they know that. That's why, as we talked about in the first half, they are staying the course. They're not trying to change their style. They're not trying to overhaul the personnel. They believe it'll come in time. And with health, they've also been quite injured this season. Different guys at different times, still missing 2 of their 4 starters on the back line. That has thrown a wrench into things. They miss Peter Wilson for a couple of games. Danny Trejo missed time. Florian Velo missed extended time. Bertrand Jacquesson, for health and visa issues, missed extended time. Kerr spotted the run, but offside once again. This time it's another Memo Rodriguez run out of the midfield. So their first goal was scored.
And it worked, so why not? If you can catch Oakland's back line running back towards their goal, you never know what can happen. Memo Rodriguez wants something more to come from the sustained possession that Sacramento is having, because right now they're having the ball, but they're not really, and credit to Oakland's back line and defensive structure once again, they're not getting a shot off, they're not getting anything on net.
De Vicente delivering back post over Wilson's head. Floated in by Tingy, somehow curled and stayed in play. Prentice delivering, Ukemu flicks it. Not fully clear. Hackshaw comes up to win it back and start it again for the Roots. In behind to Trejo, Casa shouldering him along and out for a goal kick. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Okay. Lee Desmond. Mael Malongo. Long ball ahead to Danny Trejo. Ukemu gets a piece of it. Trejo wins it. 1v1. Danny Trejo denied by Ukemu. Prentice picks up the loose change. For a 19-year-old center back staring down a player like Danny Trejo, you see exactly why Chibi Ukemu is believed to be one of the next in the USL to Europe pipeline, especially at center back. This league has produced so many young, talented center backs. Ramiz Hamuda recently this year went from Birmingham to Wolfsburg. It has been a big part of their preseason.
And he was already in the right position to defend Trejo as he was running at him. Well-timed tackle, well-timed touch. Didn't seem to stir him whatsoever.
Ramiz Hamuda to Werder Bremen, my mistake. Wrong W Bundesliga team. So Edwards, a player who has not had fitness and could not get the start tonight in the absence of Forster Ujago, who's out with the red card. He'll have 20 minutes plus stoppage to impact things, and this changes things drastically for Sacramento because now you can play through a true 9, a true goal scorer. Tied for your team lead with 3. Rolled ahead to Prentice, held his run, stayed onside. Prentice, past Gurr. Prentice. Velo sets it up. Velo had it blocked. Had visions of a second tonight. 20 minutes to go. For a second half that has had moments of menace with both teams going forward. One shot for Sacramento, no shots for Oakland. There hasn't been any end product despite some of the creativity.
This game has fully been played in between the 18-yard boxes of this pitch. Yes, a few crosses coming in from the sides, but it's been a game of build-up, a game of structure, trying to break each other down.
Chested down by Velo, who did hold his run just barely. Timing things really well right now, the Roots. Gurr, a careless, rare giveaway. One of the steadiest players on Sacramento's roster, not just this year, but for pretty much the last half decade now. Join the Roots at the Coliseum August 1st for Super Hi-Fi Night. Roots taking on Pittsburgh. Don't miss a special halftime performance by Bay Area legend Keek the Sneak. Single game tickets still available. Visit OaklandRootsSC.com/tickets or call 510-488-1144. Gurr will let that one run. A little nudge at the end from De Vicente. Grounds crew has to do some work and get the ad board back up.
Maybe a little bit of a frustration shove there from Vicente, just because Oakland is now feeling what Sacramento has felt all this entire game. Their defensive structure is so well put together and organized that Oakland's having a hard time breaking it down, so they're having to go longer. And that's not what they want to do. Oakland wants to regain the ball off the press like they are here, but they've changed how they press now. Instead of sending one very hard runner, they're allowing them to go to one area and trying to pin them to one side. Sacramento, true to this, not new to this, they know how to break that down. But then as soon as Oakland regains the ball, the structure that Sacramento is putting them in is not allowing them to do anything with the ball.
Numbers here after the giveaway. Malongo cutting in, poked away, recovered by Kay. Now Willie, space. Willie can shoot, can go for it, but it's deflected out for a corner. Two changes being prepared by Sacramento. Get you those in a moment. First, a short corner, Willie Casas. Another corner coming. It's Alfredo Medense and Danny Crisostomo who are set to check on for Mael Malongo and Pep Casas, we're told. Rodriguez, good ball. What fell in the box, Willie smashes it, saved by McIntosh. Edwards finishes! The super sub gets it done for Sacramento!
This ball curling out was a beautiful one placed in. There was an initial shot that could have been taken. Edwards will not be offsides. He comes from the 6-yard box area. There were men behind him already. picks up the deflection and tucks the ball away. Fantastic goal from, like you said, super sub stepping on the pitch. Reading the game well, following up the shot.
Oakland is still irate that the offside wasn't given, but as you point out, Edwards was onside. They're either A, wrong, or B, arguing that Mark-Anthony Kaye was in the line of that shot in an offside position, and he threw off the play, and they wanted him called for the offside. So no VAR, the call that was made is the call that stands. If they're arguing Edwards was off, they're simply wrong. Here's a look at it again from the wide angle. Watch the center of the box. Kaye is off right now as Tingy steps up. He doesn't touch it, but was he impeding the vision of McIntosh? You can't make that argument because McIntosh still made the save. So now Kaye's out of the play. Edwards is onside and finishes.
Edwards honestly almost gets the initial ball that's come in off the corner. Was never in an offside position, and like you said, Kaye does not impede the process.
So the misplaced ire from the Roots back line should be on themselves for losing track of the one guy you cannot lose track of, instead of it the assistant referee who nailed it. And now looking for more, maybe Guerin behind. Cut off by Edwards. Can the Roots respond again like they already did once tonight, 90 seconds after that first Sacramento goal, tying things? In the live standings, this would take Sacramento, who started this game in 11th place, all the way up into 5th place. They'd be the second team in the Western Conference today who started their game in 11th and vaulted ahead. That other team was Vegas. Started the day in 11th, went on the road and beat Detroit City, handing one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference their first home loss of the year. That moved Vegas all the way up to 6th. Now Vegas is back down in 11th. With all the other results that have happened today, Vegas started the day in 11th, climbed to 6th, back down to 11th. That is life in the Western Conference.
You could go 2-0 in a week and still be below the playoff
Crazy. Oakland, meanwhile, had started the week in 5th after a loss to Lexington, and with this result right now, plus others, they've dipped down into 9th. And for the first time in a long time, the Roots would be out of a playoff spot. It all starts to come into focus now as we're firmly into the second half of the season. Coming into the week, there were some teams that had not yet hit the 15-game mark. There still is technically one team that has not done that, New Mexico, on 14 games. They were supposed to play Birmingham. Weather postponed that to, I believe, tomorrow. So they'll officially hit their halfway mark tomorrow. From the free kick. Nothing doing there for Oakland. If you can't watch the match, start on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights, plus live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Can Sacramento hold on now? Last week it was a 1-0 lead on the road against Charleston Battery. A penalty for the Battery, and then a red card to Sacramento put them in a very difficult spot. They held on for the 1-1 draw still. Chasing it, McCabe runs out of steam and room. That penalty last week that was awarded against Sacramento for Charleston, it was won by Colton Swan. Colton Swan now away on national team duty with the U.S. under-20s. They have their first game this evening. It's going on right now as they take on Haiti. The U.S. are up 2-0. One of the players from the USL umbrella, Braden Dunham, has subbed in the second half of that game. A number of USL players represented in that tournament. Oakland have only used one substitution so far. In this day and age of the 5 subs rule, it's rare you see a coach just ride with his group. It used to be the norm back in the Stone Ages of only 3 substitutions, but Ryan Martin rolling with this group, seeing if they could figure it out. Memo Rodriguez into the gut of McIntosh.
Because they really have had it figured out for most of this game. I mean, besides the goal getting scored on, and I wouldn't call that their typical gifting somebody the goal either. They have been on the right path. They have picked up good opportunities. Their execution, but both executions really have not been superb. They only have 1 shot here in the second half, and so that would be something that they would want to see more of obviously. But besides that, they really have done everything correctly. They're very organized in this match.
It's been the story of their season. Games where they're playing fine and maybe the better team, but not finding results. And that was a big part of the conversation again with Ryan Martin, and just hitting that stone over and over and over. Eventually you'll break it. Eventually things will go your way in the long run. But in the meantime, it's frustrating. It has to be.
It's frustrating again when you don't have your leading goal scorer, Peter Wilson, really get on the ball much, if at all, in this match whatsoever. Credit to Sacramento, they've done a very good job of defending him, but Oakland also hasn't got the ball to him at all.
Edwards wins the foot race, goes for a goal. Akshaw let off the hook. There's a touch for Wilson. They've been few and far between. Watch his run coming out of the midfield. Tingy looking that way. He dummies it through, and it's cleared. Looking for more now. Sacramento to put this away. Trying to chip McIntosh. I don't know if that was the right call in the end from Alfredo Medense. The chip from that distance, from that angle. Prentice. Okebu, another terrific bit of 1v1 defending, but it is out for a corner. First of this second half, powered by Ava Community Energy for the Roots. Subs from Oakland. Tucker Lepley for Florian Velo. Tyler Gibson for Babosi Biarahunga. The 4th official had those reversed on the board. It'll be Gibson coming in Biarahunga's position in the defensive midfield, and Lepley coming in as a like-for-like switch in the 10 spot for Florian Velo. Wasted. Lepley recycles it for McCabe. Gibson. His playing time recently has been reduced to almost nothing. Gibson sort of lost his spot in this team. Gibson. De Vicente delivery. Trejo leaves it through. Wilson couldn't settle.
Wilson has to expect the ball to come to him whenever he's in the box and whenever it's wide. He's a target for them. He looked a little bit surprised there as that ball was coming in with the pace it had on it as well.
Gibson, McCabe, Wolfgang Prentice gets past Gurr, feeds De Vicente, flag stays down. De Vicente And it's brought back for a free kick for Prentice being fouled. So it'll be the free kick instead of the corner. Vitiello have to make a stop. Has it tonight. Faced one shot on target. It was the Florian Velo goal. You tip your cap for a terrific strike. That is the Roots' only shot on target this evening. 10 shots, 9 off target. De Vicente. Vitiello had it scouted. The USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golasso Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete TV listings. And Danny Vitiello was bowled over by Navel Hackshaw. No call was made as he rolled that ball through.
Hackshaw coming behind him to try and just press the ball as soon as it came out of Vitiello's hands. He did bump into him as he was running by. But more shoulder-to-shoulder contact instead of head.
I mean, both things can be true in that moment. Hackshaw did something he probably shouldn't have done and should get booked for it, probably a yellow. And Vitiello made a little bit more of it than it probably was. Both things can be true. Well, this injury timeout is brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem is transforming healthcare by improving the health of our local communities. I did notice, by the way, Kyle Edwards has gloves on.
I did see that.
It's 63 degrees. I'm sure, you know, everybody feels differently, but we're going in gloves with 63 degrees as the temperature?
I wouldn't personally.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wasn't ever a gloves person.
Maybe he has
ever.
cold extremities. I don't know, but I did notice that, and he's the only player out there with gloves. Hey, it worked. He scored right now would be the game-winning goal, so.
Sacramento doesn't mind if he wears gloves, sleeves, whatever he's got to do if he's going to continue to score goals.
As long as he keeps scoring now with a team-high 4 goals, and this one would be a winner. Jackson Keel enters for Keegan Tingy. Jesus De Vicente comes off as well. Julian Bravo takes his spot.
Also checking in for your Roots, number 23, Julian Bravo. He replaces Jesus De Vicente.
Hackshaw waving everybody forward. He wants to launch this and then goes short anyway to McCabe. 90th minute, stoppage time could be hefty, especially after that last stoppage with Vitiello down.
Northern California in the summer is quite beautiful, I must say, though. In the summer, or in the daytime, very hot, beautiful. As soon as the sun goes down, chilly.
It's a little chilly, but still.
Gloves,
I don't know.
Boob jacket, appropriate. Sweatshirt, appropriate. Gloves with no sleeves, is it the same thing with a hood as a hoodie?
Yeah, it's almost like wearing, you know, mismatched sock and shoe brands. Like, it's just something that is a little bit taboo. You never know, but we're waiting for official word on stoppage time. 5 minutes tacked on.
There will be a minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time. Here in the second half.
Edwards gave it away. Sacramento put this away with a third. Edwards, gloves and all, volleying it through! A brace for Kyle Edwards! The team leader in goals wins it in the NorCal Derby.
Kyle Edwards has stepped on this field and immediately made an impact and continues to do so. Rodriguez gets the ball all the way across the field, and it's not like he had a ton of space. He picks this ball up, a beautiful prep touch, does not take another one. The next touch he takes is a shot. Memo Rodriguez puts this on a platter for him, and Edwards tucks it away beautifully for his second goal tonight.
Came off the bench, short while later scored what is the winning goal, and now provides the insurance goal. Came into the night, tied for the team lead on 3 goals. He'll leave the night as the team leader with 5 goals, maybe more, at least 5. Flag stays down. Might be a bridge too far anyway, though, right now for the Roots. Getting Edwards back to full health is crucial. He didn't play that last game against Charleston Nursing and Knock. He started and scored the game before that against Rhode Island. He came in as a late sub against New Mexico. He's gotten back and forth as a sub, as a starter. He only has 3 starts this season in his now 13 appearances because of health and because of just getting fully up to fitness. Tell you what, if he gets to where we know he can be, and Forster Ajago comes back from a suspension and keeps going the way he's been going, just the goal scoring you were looking for this Sacramento team that now through 15 games played has conceded 15 goals. 15 games, 15 goals, so 1 per game. That's their usual. That's what they're going to do season in, season out, pretty much. It's their identity. And it's just been a question of, can they get the goals to go with it? They're also averaging about a goal per game. That man gets going. 1 goal for each glove tonight is what we're taking away from this.
But a force to be reckoned with, especially when Forster gets back. And then you have, I wouldn't even call it a supporting cast, but you just have the collective, everybody else together, really pushing the issue. They have the defensive stability, like you mentioned at the very top of the broadcast, as what they're built on. But can they find the finishing power? Can they find the goal scorers? And Kyle Edwards will share a part of that pie as the goal scorer for this side once he gets back into that full health. Limited health, and he puts goals on the score sheet. What can he do when he's at full is the question.
In this rivalry, this would be a 4th win in the last 5 for Sacramento in all competitions. And the first year of this rivalry saw 3 straight ties, and the Roots won the 4th game and won the season series. Sacramento have won the season series every year since then. And they would clinch that here tonight. A win in Brinks Tires Cup. This win here tonight, they'll meet again on decision day. I suppose there could be a playoff game in there, maybe. But without knowing that, as it stands, they would clinch the season series in the NorCal Derby here as well. They would move to 8 wins all time against Oakland. 2 Roots wins, 6 draws. It is one-sided. 5 minutes come and gone. Just waiting for the whistle now from Joshua Encarnacion. And that'll do it. The NorCal Derby once again goes to Sacramento Republic. It's been as one-sided as it gets. 4 wins in the last 5 meetings, and this win tonight clinches the season series in 2026.
An even match until Kyle Edwards stepped onto the pitch and really made a difference here for Sacramento. It was like for like in the first 45. He comes in the second 45 and has 2 exclamation marks, 2 game-winning goals for Sacramento Republic, and secures the rivalry win away from their home stadium.
He was the man of the match on the Sacramento side. The fighter of the match on the Roots side, presented by Modelo, is Florian Velo. Our award for those with the fighting spirit. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. His goal really sparked the Roots, but Sacramento just held on and constricted them in the end.
It was the tying goal for the Roots in a game where they were coming back into their form later on in that first half, but they couldn't really add anything to it, like you mentioned.
Back in a moment to wrap things up from the Coliseum. It's one side singing, one side with the long faces. The traveling Tower Bridge Battalion, all smiles, so is Kyle Edwards with a game-winning goal tonight. We wrap it up on the other side.
Here, soccer is a movement, more than just a game. That inspired us to be more than just a name on a jersey, more than a health insurance company, and more involved in helping Oakland grow. I'ma stay true to my roots. Because in this town, we play for good. Let the rest do what it do. It's one thing I'ma do.
A lot of people don't know this about UCSF, but we have more female sports doctors than anywhere else in the country.
Our Women's Sports Medicine Center is the first clinic in the Bay Area to focus on female patients. We would reconstruct the ACL. Our bodies are different. Our injuries are different.
We are constantly staying up to date on the latest science. And we're all athletes ourselves, so we understand what their goals are.
We love to help athletes get back to doing what they love.
UCSF Health.
Kyle Edwards just being mobbed by staff, by teammates. His praises sung by the traveling Tower Bridge Battalion, who were sort of tucked up and away in a corner, but have made their voices heard all night long, celebrating a win in the NorCal Derby. A look back at the highlights from this one, brought to you by Samuel Merritt University.
And it really started at Sacramento with this push by Jack Gurr, putting this ball in the box. A beautiful run by Memo Rodriguez, really straight onto this ball. The run creates the ball, and he does just that in between the center backs for Oakland. And you think, okay, Sacramento scores 1 goal. You don't know how the Roots are going to respond, but it did not take long for them to come back in this match right after they were scored on.
And it was Florian Velo with the beauty.
He really just took 2 touches inside, ripped a shot from outside the 18, which is really the name of the game for Oakland a lot throughout the match. If they were going to shoot, it was probably going to be outside of the 18-yard box, picking balls up in transition and going to goal. And that would have been really the end of all of the action in the first half of play.
Well, then Kyle Edwards in off the bench and onto the score sheet with the game-winning goal.
And this was controversial for Oakland. They tried to say that either he or Mark Anthony Kay were offside. That was not the case whatsoever. Edwards almost had the initial touch on the cross in the box from the corner kick, but just follows up the play and tucks it away nicely. It would be the game-winning goal up to this point because the Roots could not find an answer to it. I love the way that they're celebrating it.
And they would celebrate one more. Edwards again, and this one was just a brilliant 1-2 touch.
Memo Rodriguez, instead of scoring the goal, he assisted this time. Ball straight across, floating across the entire side of the pitch. Takes 1 touch to bring it down out of the air and then finishes it off beautifully. Doesn't have to do much power, but finesse in that shot to really put it away.
And this is the Sacramento team that started the night in 11th. They started before this game in 11th. They vault up to 5th. Oakland started the week in 5th. They dipped down below the playoff line now in 9th. Take a good snapshot because, again, it's tight. From 4th place down to 11, separated by just 3 points.
Everything is going to change in a blink of an eye. Snapshot, anything you can to keep these updated is what you're going to want to do. Every week it's going to change.
Oakland will host Pittsburgh next week, and Sacramento will host Sporting Jacks, a pair of cross-conference matchups for these two teams. The NorCal Derby, its second overall installment this season, first of the regular season. Didn't matter whether it's Prince Tire's USL Cup or regular season play. Sacramento 2-0 against the Roots this season. For Jade Barquette and the crew that makes this possible, I'm Joe Malva saying so long for now as Sacramento takes it 3-1 over the Roots. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.